Hey, and we are live. Welcome to another Art Imitates Life. Tonight, let's see. What would you do if you had the chance to rewind? What would you change in your life? We're going to talk about it tonight in the living room. It just might be a girls' night. We'll see in just a moment. So let's get it started, y'all. We are AIL and we are live. Let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hey, welcome back. Welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Life with me, Tanya Dixon. And like I said just now, I think that I got the ladies in the house for the ladies' night here in the living room panel tonight. For a few moments there, I thought I was going to be Macaulay Culkin Home Alone, but I think I got some ladies and we're going to get it cracking in just a few moments. But tonight, you know how we do? We do the whole hot topics thing, which is who spiked the tea. Got a lot of tea for you tonight, and it is spiked pretty heavily. And then also we're doing the living room. The living room is rewind. Just looking at this as if you had the chance to rewind your life. Would you change some things? What would be different? So, we're going to get into that in the second hour. But for right now, let's go ahead and hear from the sponsors, and we'll be right back and get it started with my ladies. Here we go. Art Imitates Life with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back. It seems like the week goes so quickly. It is hard to believe that we're already back in for our Imitates Life in the living room once again. It just seems like we're just here like yesterday. It was a very, very quick week. So I'm going to bring in the ladies now. Everybody unmute yourselves. I'll bring you on in. I want to see if it was a quick week for you all too. So here we go. How y'all doing?
Hi.
Good. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, this is our ladies' night thing. It's just like it just happened by fluke. Everybody's got a lot going on tonight. And I was thinking for a few moments there, I said, I didn't know if anybody was going to get a chance to come in. And I was happy that I wouldn't be talking to myself, but I've been in radio and TV forever. I guess how many years I've been in
Happy
forever.
New
I'm
Year.
used to yes, I'm used to talking about myself. That's really crazy. And if people, what I know, Shannon was wondering, why would she want to continue on with the show? Girl, all of y'all from my days, the very first days in 1988, radio sitting in the room by myself, they like talk, and that's all you had. It was you and a microphone and you talk. And the same thing with TV. I was always in the studio by myself, except for the production people. So I'm so used to it. And I just figured it'd come together. So that's how I figured. But how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Enough of me and my history.
Good. Good.
But you know what?
Tired. Oh,
You're
Yeah,
tired?
we ain't gonna leave you by yourself tonight. Not tonight.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go around and find
It's
out what's
gonna be
going
a
on with people.
yeah.
Because we usually got lose Veronica. So Veronica, before we lose you, what's
No.
going on with you, girl? What's Veronique, Vivacious Joiner? What you got going on right now? Can she hear it?
it's a delay.
Yeah, it's a delay.
Well,
It's,
it's been a good
Greetings, everybody. Greetings out there in TV land. Everything's going good.
Cool.
I've had a trying week this week, but God knows everything is good. Everything is good. Everything's running its course.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of put those words together because, we had a few dropouts here and there. We kind of put that together. Margo, what's going on with you this week? I think Margo's got
Oh
a
man.
delay.
Uh,
Yeah, there you go. There you
Life
go.
is what it is, and it's been a lot of work, 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 work. Like Rihanna, it's been a lot of work. I've
Right.
done 7 days of work straight by myself, leading my
Uh-huh.
classroom, and so. But it's been a little smooth. There's been some trying times. There's been some attitudes and stuff. You wouldn't expect that of a 3-year-old, but it's been good. It's been good.
That's all you expect out of a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that 3-year-old trying to give you the business.
Mm.
That's cute.
Oh
I
yeah,
always like
testing, looking at me like you ain't gonna do nothing.
You bet.
I like them when they real
Yeah,
little. I like when they're 1 year
I
old.
believe it.
I like before they start really, really
Hmm.
knowing their personality at 2. I mean, they still cute as can be, but I love the 1 year olds because they're still discovering their
Yeah.
body. They have hands and feet, and they haven't gotten around to the attitude yet. So,
They
all
got
right,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
All right, Shan, how was your week?
My week has been crazy. I had
Mhm.
has it all been this one week? It's insane.
Uh,
I had the meeting for the first meeting, well, my first meeting for the art show for the fashion show that's happening on the November 14th,
right.
Tuesday. I just met with my photographer today, so he's fixing to come after the show and drop off some photos. And then tomorrow I'm going to Detroit for 2 weeks. I have a video chat with a recruiter working with freelance and contract positions that's probably going to find me work as soon as I get back. And then I've had at least 8 job interviews in the past 2 weeks. I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore.
Wow.
I,
Well.
so, and I've been up since and today some stuff happened with my insurance and the allergist up there, and I almost had to pop off on them. So I've been up since about 9 this morning, and I'm probably on 4 hours of sleep. So I am capital T tired, and I'm really
Okay.
glad we're allowed to drink on this show.
Yeah.
That is, thank
So
God.
the alcohol does not make you more tired. It does it bring you up or something?
No, when I'm like this,
Hmm.
I'm already at a max. So
Right.
not, I'm at a level where nothing's gonna really put me to sleep until I choose to go to sleep. So,
Right.
but when
Right.
I go to sleep,
No.
I'm gonna be down for a little
You're
while.
gonna
You know,
sleep for real. She gonna
I
deep
gotta, yeah.
sleep, good
My
sleep.
flight, for real, my flight is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Thank God.
Right.
If it
Get a
was any
chance to
earlier, I'm probably not gonna be
right.
in there.
Get a chance to rest a little bit before you head out.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I ain't mad at you about that. Not at all.
Right.
As I was saying in the opening of the show, this is just crazy to me is how this week has just felt like it just went so fast. And
Well, Shannon, are
I
you
don't know.
packed?
Was
Are,
that?
are you packed?
Oh,
Me?
Shannon.
Yeah, I've got all my stuff packed. The only thing that I'm lacking is my bathroom stuff. That's the last thing I got. I pack 3 days in advance. I
Really?
don't. I'm not one of
Oh,
those people that's like, oh, the day of, let me pack my bag. No, 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 no. I'm packed 3 days in advance, and then I put my bathroom stuff in there, and I carry it downstairs, and it's waiting down at the end of the
I
stairs
asked Shannon.
for me before I find my way out the door. And I'm at the airport at least 2 hours before my flight.
Okay,
Right.
that's not me.
She said no.
That's not me.
Is it chaotic when you get ready to go somewhere?
For me, I can't sleep. I don't care whether I'm driving or I'm flying or if I'm using my wings. Don't know why I cannot sleep the night before I travel anywhere. So everything gets done because I'm like this all night. It is all the time. Yes. And everything is done. And I'm like, and then right before, I mean, everything is just the right before a time for me to get up. I say just maybe I'm gonna switch the scene here with Veronica without Veronica here. I'm gonna switch the scene up a little bit, but right before maybe a couple hours before the time that I have to get up, I fall asleep. So then when the clock goes off, I'm tired as hell. And then I thank myself for having everything ready because I'm so tired.
Right.
And it feels miserable. And I'm like, I hate traveling. And that's how I feel for a few moments until I start going. And then when
You want to go, but you hate the in between before you get to where you're going.
Yes. And why do I have morning flights? I shouldn't even have morning flights. I'm one of these people.
What?
I need to do red eyes all the time.
Why are you doing morning flights? Baby,
It's just always
fly in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what
I lunchtime or you know, a little bit later around 2 or 3. That's about good for me. Not that early morning, because I'm staring everybody down like, why am I here this early? Just mad.
Tell you what it is.
Just mad.
Please let me get
most
some
of the
coffee
time.
or I hop on my way in.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, my morning flights are because I'm going from coast to coast. And when you have that long 5-6 hour flight or something like that, anywhere between 4 and 6 hours, I want to get everything out of the way so I have the rest of the day to do stuff. And so that's like we've done that a number of times. And then, but I used to fly in the evening a lot when I was living in Texas, going to Vegas. Now those were even flights a lot because it wasn't that far, you know. But now it's different. It's different. So, Shan, we wish you the best, and of course, safe travels and all that. But we're gonna talk of that before the end of the show.
Yeah. No, whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to spike the tea a little bit here. And I was honestly looking at this story just now, and I'm going to tell you all that the story has gone away. And if somebody is out there, you know, either any of you all who even find it, let me know you see it. I think I see you in the comments. Beastline Entertainment, shout out to Beastline. But I had this one story that I was very curious to bring to the whole platform here, because woman suing Geico after hooking up with a guy in the backseat of a car and gave her an STD. Now the story has just gone away. Yes. The story, I really wanted to bring this story to, and I don't know whether it's just because something changed and they have taken the story like gone away. So that's one that I really wanted to find out about and see how you all felt. But that story went bye-bye, like quicker than a hurry. So, yes. I don't know. Yes. I don't know what happened to that. You know, because I would really want
it's like,
to know.
How you gonna sue Geico? I sue Geico because you slept with somebody. I mean, that don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense.
Well,
did she think that her car? Okay, wait.
Because something was on the seat in the back seat of the car before they got back there. I mean,
wait. Did she think that her car insurance? Listen, I'm smart enough to understand this. That's what's sad. Did she think
it's not health insurance, it's car insurance?
Cover the treatment for the STD?
Maybe she thinks it's just liability.
Nah.
Maybe she just crazy as hell, and that's why that story went bye-bye, because I can't find that story. So if somebody out there finds it, put it in the comments and see, you know, we can bring it to the forum, because I just really want to see what that was about. But before I
don't think they'll protect you from being a fool and falling for getting with it and hooking up with a dude in the back seat of a car. I don't think they'll protect you from being a fool. So
Exactly,
that
exactly. That's crazy.
I mean,
Well,
that's the only
That's
thing I can think
liability.
of.
Veronica, you say something too?
That's not liability. That's dumbness.
Yeah, that's a dummy.
She said that's damages.
yeah, that's
Well,
damages.
I
The
tell you all
debt.
this. I found another story that I found this to be interesting. Now, we know that Michael K. Williams was with The Wire and he passed away. And Akon, the singer
Mm.
producer, Akon had made some comments. And apparently, he's not backing down from his comments. So I'm going to give you an idea of what was said here. He says Akon has received, the article is saying, and let's give shout out to nstars.com and also to newsbreak.com for the story. They said Akon has received some backlash for his comment about his pal Michael K. Williams' death, but he's not backtracking his initial response. And, he had told TMZ his thought about his friend's passing. And what he said is that many people say this. They say he previously mentioned that rich people go through many problems than poor, saying more money, more problems. The famous and the rich go through more issues than the poor. When they say more money, more problems, that's a real thing. And I'm like this. I don't see anything that I don't want to say word bad, but it's not. He's not like he's saying anything that's not real. I mean, do you all agree? I feel like it's real what he's saying. That they're do experience more stuff, more money, more problems in general. But I can before I go further into the story, what do you all think?
Like that's the issue that they're saying is that the rich have more issues.
Well, I guess that's what he was
Rich,
saying. You
rich people
know,
go through more things than poor people. That's what they're
Mm.
transmitting it into.
right? Because he's saying nobody can sit there and tell me that I didn't go through poverty and I was a young African kid barefoot and playing soccer in the village with no electricity, no running water. I knew what poverty looks like. The I want to love you hitmaker said. And in addition, he revealed that he had more problems when he became successful compared to when he was struggling as a poor kid. He says, I was actually happier when I was poor.
Mm.
Yeah, because life was simple for him back when he was poor.
Right.
It wasn't so many hands reaching in his pot trying to take his money while he's, getting that fame and
Hmm.
that extra money and income coming in. Is so many
Right.
people on that totem pole that,
Mhm.
is looking for a
Mm.
payout and a payment for the part that they played in boosting his life. So it
Right.
makes perfect sense to be a little bit sad because you got that responsibility and the weight of everything, on your mind and on your shoulders versus when you was told all that other stuff other folks was thinking about, you weren't even thinking about. And it didn't matter.
Right.
And stuff was simpler. You just wanted to
And
go, like he said, be barefoot and walk in the dirt and go kick a ball and, you know, be young
Right.
versus all this other stuff and all these other issues and, deals because everybody's trying to, get something from you. So
I
it
don't
makes
think it's a
perfect
bad
sense.
thing. I mean, Biggie said the same thing: more money, more problems. I mean, they said that same thing
Uh,
before. I
And it's
understand that
such
people
a
are
it's such a common term or what everybody says. It's nothing. I don't think that's harmful at all. It's just something that's known to be true.
I think
right.
also what
They
happens is that
say
people
no money, more problems. No money, no problems. Little bit of money, no problem, and more problems. I mean,
right.
It's a problem everywhere. Dang it. It's a
Well,
problem
I think
everywhere.
it's like this. In my opinion, I would say this. Um, Really, some people might be sensitive because they like Michael K. Williams. He was in The Wire, and it was a apparent overdose and things like that. But really, Akon is saying, "Hey, my friend had some problems. I get that. That yes, some people do try to treat themselves with substances because of the issues that they're going through. They try to numb the pains or whatever it is. I mean, we don't truly know the exact thing that happened right this moment, but that is something that does happen in general. So I don't think it's far fetched to say that or to feel that. For anyone
Right.
who is disturbed about that, they need to do a little research and see it does happen. You know, it does happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Shan?
I think that most of it is just like people are so worried about being discredited for their own struggles
Uh-huh.
that when someone who's already been through those trials and tribulations speaks on maybe their emotional vulnerability in positions like this, that um, there's this separation of I'm still going through it and you're not going through it anymore. So maybe you don't remember what it feels like.
Right.
But I don't know. I think the separation is more of your issues when you are maybe more deprived monetarily is um, physical, whereas a lot of your issues where maybe you have more privilege is emotional. And I think
Right.
that's the separation.
Hmm. I
So
get that.
I don't necessarily think that they're like truly comparable because the physical comes with emotional, but you have so many celebrities that are depressed and going through certain things and not being here anymore because of the emotional trauma that they're going through. So I think it's just like everybody's going everybody's going through their things, man. And I think there's this separation where it's like, oh, you have more money, therefore you have more ability to take care of this. But we forget that we're all human, so we all end up going through a certain struggle. Like that's our common denominator, is that
Yeah.
we all have a certain amount of struggle that we go to regardless of if we have money or not. It just depends on if it's emotional or physical.
But I know it's harder to go through it in front of an audience. And
Mm-hmm.
when that
Because you have those
status,
pressings.
yeah, and you have to go through it in front of an audience when you have that status. And I think that, excuse me, I'm sorry, that is an issue that some people really, really struggle with. But there's some other things that are happening that are coming to come to the forefront about what's happening even in the entertainment industry. So when things happen to a lot of people these days, trust me, my mind goes into a million different places that anything that's being reported through the media may not be so. So I try to just
Right.
talk in general and reserve my commentary until we find out more. And I just kind of speak in generals about it right now because if some people out there only knew the crap that was going down right now, it would make your head spin. So, with that being said, I want to look at the comments here. I see that for you asked, is you said it's a little off the subject right now, but you want to know what we think about the R. Kelly verdict. I personally think it's not enough. I just can't wait till they do more and more and more and more. And that's kind of where I am with it because I need for that story to unfold to the point that every single person, every staff member, every parent, every one of those people who was involved
Amen.
He
in
finna
doing
make a new
time,
song with everybody name in it that had their hands and played a part. I'm telling
Girl,
you,
they
he
ain't
gonna
gonna
make
so
let him do music no
another
more.
song with it. No, but I'm just saying he gonna start singing like a songbird while he in jail, cause he
Oh,
finna. If I'm going down, everybody else is going down with
Right.
me. That
yes.
shifted and pushed them girls in his direction.
Exactly.
So they do need to get
Right.
something behind it,
See,
cause
there we go.
that just ain't right.
There we go. Right there. More money, more problems. All that money
Right.
he had brought him mad problems.
And brought
There you
attention to
go. That's
you.
it right there.
But you already took a
Hmm.
person who was already ill because I don't know how much people have heard about this part where the brother, and I'm going to use the word alleged, even though I have heard it more than once, but the brother has said that, about Robert being ill-minded at a young age, and how they used to rape their sister and all that. So, this, come on, the sickness was there. And what happens is when you get into the industry and the people in the industry find out what your weakness is, they exploit a lot of these things. And so, therefore,
Yeah.
they know what you like. They use that against you. They will supply you with what you need, and they will use it against you too. So there's a lot of things that happen in that situation that we're going to see come out once they really start allowing information to come out. Then you will see how many people in the industry who had been abused one another, and how the abuse came down from the top. And I think you'll see it a whole lot more. So he was a person who, in my opinion, they knew what his weaknesses were, and they wanted to keep him in control and keep him supplied, so that he can keep supplying them with music and everything that they wanted from him. So they supplied him with what he needed, and they got him out of trouble when he got in.
Mm.
That's my feelings on what went down. And
Mm-hmm.
it's sad, is all hell, but that is really my feelings on what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else any more feelings about Robert Kelly?
I'm just
No.
curious now when you go back, like if you start listening to some of his songs, like what kind of signals or signs was you putting in them songs making you think like, is this what you was doing to them? It
Yeah,
really makes your mind wander and trip and be like, ooh, and I had liked that song at one point in time. Like, I ain't looking at it the same way now. So
right.
that's my last take on that. It's like
Well,
I'm not
that
looking at it the same way.
the whole Pied Piper thing was a bad thing. People ignored it. The whole Pied
Oh no,
Piper
I knew what that
situation.
meant. I remembered that story.
Right.
I'm just
Mhm.
like, y'all ain't catching this in that in
Right.
that in that title in this song.
Right. The whole image was put right in front of everybody's faces, but because people were enjoying the music, they chose to ignore the message. And when he got into trouble some time ago, I remember feeling a certain kind of way about that. And then people were like, what's wrong with you? They kind of treated like, well, you don't know this and you don't know that, and things like that. They were a little salty with me for feeling a certain kind of way about that,
And then
because
they
I was
started he started releasing those like more spiritual gospel songs and stuff like that with a little bit more emotion, and they was like, well, he's changing his life, or something's happened where he's getting better, or he's changing. But
the devil always knows
with
how to trick
everything,
you.
Mm.
yeah, with
Devil,
everything that's been revealed, I'm like, what? It's like, oh
yes,
no.
the devil always knows how to trick you. And that's the part that
Mm,
people just they don't want to look at sometimes. It's right there in front of their faces. But again, celebrities sometimes living by a whole different thing. That's what it comes down to. So
yeah.
that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So ladies, I am come on now. I am gonna go to another story here. I'm gonna let Veronica back in the door real quick before I do. Okay, welcome back, Ron. So, okay, this is kind
Hey,
of a funny.
before my phone go out,
Uh-huh.
before my phone goes out again, I have a couple of celebrity birthday shout outs. Usher is turning 43 on October the 14th. Naomi Osaka on the 16th, she'll be turning 24. And Zach Efron, he'll be turning 34 on October the 18th. So happy birthday to those celebrities.
Well, you know what? The reason why I was okay with you doing that because they Libra babies. So, because they Libra babies, you gonna get that shout out to them because this is
Yeah.
living that Libra. But happy birthday, y'all! All that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I know whenever we get to Libra time of the year, I don't know. I just feel like we just a special, whole different, special kind of people. I don't know what y'all feel other than me and Margo, but that's how I
Yeah.
feel. We
Yeah.
just a whole
I
bunch
do.
of. I think Veronica
It's
is
a,
coming in on another thing here. I was wait. I want to wait and try to add her before I jump off and go over. But here she comes. Here she comes. Okay, I'm gonna jump and add. Well, she's twice on there. Look at you, Veronica. You have to have two spaces. She went down one. Okay. All right. Now this story here. I'm gonna just read this. Noel Fielding says that Snoop Dogg's dressing room had to be hosed down before he could use it. Okay. Never
Hmm.
mind the Buzzcocks team captain, Noel Fielding, has spoken about an instance where he had to use a dressing room at the Snoop Dogg. In this exclusive clip, he is talking about one faithful night, which happened while he was touring with the Mighty Boosh. He says Snoop Dogg did the night before us in Brixton, and they had to hose down the dressing room. First of all, what y'all think they were hosing down? I just want to know what came to your mind first before we further
Probably just
about.
pouring Febreze over the entire room.
Right.
Y'all
Hmm.
A
hear?
whole lot of Febreze and maybe even sanitizing some tabletops or something. Wiping,
Right?
wiping off the
Probably saw
tabletop.
some blueprints.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
wondering what do
booty
y'all think they were?
prints and all kind of stuff. Ain't no telling.
Mhm. I'm just trying to figure out what this man was doing that they were talking about something was being hosed. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just being nosy. That's all. I'm
But
just
he,
trying to figure out.
That's just a saying.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
And
just a
plus
saying for deeply disinfected.
yeah. Because
You
there's
think
no
it's
telling,
deeply
and it don't necessarily mean that Snoop Dogg was doing it all, but ain't his little
Right.
entourage, ain't no telling who they brought
Mhm.
with them and what groupies that might have wanted to say, hey,
I mean, they
just
probably
peek
opened the
through.
door and got a contact. So,
Yeah, yeah.
probably didn't have
Yeah,
enough time
I
to
was
air out
just
the cloud.
curious.
It was a
He
lot of
said
clouds
because
in
it
there. It
was
was a lot
just
of
broken
clouds in the
glass.
back.
Okay. He said it was just broken glass and Johnny's.
John, what? Say
So
that one more time. What
I
in
don't know what
Johnny's?
Johnny's are. Somebody look that up.
Yeah,
Johnny
somebody tell us what the
broken glass
code
and
word for
I like
Johnny's.
Johnny's
how
mean.
somebody.
Yeah. Because that to me, that's a little. I don't know what that's
That's
all
what I
about.
don't know.
But
Yeah.
but he said artists like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were at the forefront of the West hip hop revolution. So to be able to bring them back to LA, where it all began alongside Eminem and Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar, will prove to be
Oh,
epic, unforgettable
condoms.
celebration of the
That's what
impact
I
of
was
hip hop.
thinking, but I didn't want to say because I'm kind of old school, so my terminology with slang was like, I don't know if I know that one, but a lot of Johnnies, like, come on, maybe I
That's
could
what
be
I
wrong,
was.
but
That's where I was trying to
uh-uh.
get to about the hosing down. That's the reason why I was saying it's a hosing down. There had to
That
be
means it would
something
have
else
already been
going
hosed
on.
down.
Huh?
That means it would have already been
I,
hosed down before.
Yeah, it was too many uh in the room. Mm,
yeah, there was something going on, and maybe something was all
yeah.
over the ceiling and the walls or something. I don't know
That's why I'm
because it
saying it
had
was
to be
already
hosed.
hosed
They
down
put some
before
they
you
put
got
some
there.
temporary poles in there some kind of way.
Uh-huh.
That's why I
Right.
just
They
wanted to
didn't bring
know what
you
you
in.
all thought. Because my mind went
Yeah.
way over there.
Well, as soon as you mentioned Snoop Dogg, I'm like, wow, he probably opened the door and it was a cloud.
Yeah, I'm sure. I am so sure. So there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot more to that story, but we're gonna leave that particular story.
Killer.
Um, yeah, something. This one, and I really wanted to know what happened. I'm glad they came back out with a reply on this particular story right here. Okay, Judge Judy, her bailiff
Mm-mm.
Petrie Hawkins. She's starting a new show on a new network, but he was talking at one time about being excited to be with her and everything, and now all of a sudden she's got a new bailiff. So everybody was like, "What went down? What happened? What happened?"
I would have
So,
been left because I can't see her.
I love me some Judge Judy. Don't you talk bad on some Judge Judy.
I can't
That
stand
is
it.
I'm
I
I'm
cannot
cool
stand that
with Judge
woman.
Judy. I'm
that
cool
is
with
a
her.
family
No.
tradition.
but the thing is, apparently,
Mm-mm.
apparently something went down, and I wanted to know what the story was. And so what happened is he finally broke his silence. Okay. Because she moved her. She had a big falling out with the network that she was already on, and that's no
Uh-oh.
backstory. And so she moved. So when Amazon's IMDb TV released the first trailer for Judge Judy Shinelin's new series, Judy Justice, fans were shocked to see that she had a new bailiff, Kevin Rascott. And during the entire run of Judge Judy, Petrie Hawkins Bird served as her bailiff, and so many expected him, to return. So there was a new interview and all that occurred. And so he finally broke his silence on that. And he says, "My assumption is if you were going to want to do something else, that you were at least going to ask me if I wanted to have the opportunity to audition for the role." This is what he told Entertainment Weekly on Friday. Once Just Judy production finished in April, Bird completely devoted his attention to his wife, Just Judy producer Makita Bond Bird, who was scheduled for brain surgery. So thankfully, doctors successfully removed 90%, 95% of uh, Bond Bird's tumor. So he said, "I didn't have time to think about or ask about G." He said it wasn't until Joe asked, "Hey, else or am I included in the project?" And then Shinelan told Bird that he was not being asked to join Judy Justice cast. And he didn't press her as to why, but she blamed the budget. He said, "I didn't inquire as that was her choice, but she did inform me that fundamentally I was priced out as of the so I
You're
still
cutting out super
Mm.
think
bad.
it was shady. I think it was shady. It's just shady to me. How you gonna just mess up with uh, uh, Judge Judy like that? You're gonna put Bird out there like that? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What y'all think? What do y'all think? What y'all think?
I don't know. That sounds a little weird,
Mm-mm.
but hopefully it was just budgeting. I don't know. That sounds
He probably
that
got sick of
sounds
that mouth. I would have left too. Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what I felt like it might have been with his wife being a producer, and then this is me just taking off that other hat. With his wife being a producer and them knowing that she had to have that surgery, it's quite possible that they decided to go that route and not have to drag him over to the show and let him take care of his family.
mm,
Mm.
What do y'all think?
Yeah,
I,
gonna
I
kind
hope
of
it
Might have
wasn't.
been.
I hope
Yeah,
that,
that
well,
might
I
have
mean,
been
when
in
you
it.
think that they would say that, like, oh, we just think it would be better for you to be home with your family as opposed to blame it on budgeting, it sounds like, okay, did his wife have her own insurance or was she on his insurance?
Yeah, see, I don't know that part because
mm.
they didn't include that. But her as a producer, she should have some pretty good insurance in that situation.
Right.
Well, maybe,
I would.
oh, you know what would be like really messed up if they were, okay, so his wife is she a producer on the show or is she just a producer herself?
On the show. Let me look here. Let me go back over that again. The Makita
Because
Bonbird, who
if
was
she's a
scheduled for.
producer on the show,
Oh yeah,
then
she's
that's
a Judge Judy producer. Yes,
okay.
she's a
Okay,
Judge Judy producer.
then they're like fundamentally budget blah blah blah. It sounds like we're already putting enough of this money toward your family. We can't also afford to pay
For
you along with
pay both of
paying
y'all.
much of your family's bills. So
Yeah,
we're
it
gonna
sounds like
Dang
hire
it could be
right.
somebody who
something.
costs less than you because we're already paying
Hmm.
so much out of pocket here.
Yeah, that is
Mm.
entirely possible.
That's
That
off to
is
him. I'm glad
definitely
he did it.
possible. Was that now, Veronica? Yeah, y'all hear Veronica? What she said?
I'm glad if I would have lived to.
She being
I don't like
hateful on
this
Judy.
Judy attitude.
Veronica's still on petty boots.
She don't give you a chance. I don't like the way she do. I don't like the way she. I don't like the way she do when she don't know if if it's the truth or not. She's gonna
Hmm.
go with whatever she want to go with. Whatever she say is what she say, not knowing that it could be some truth to whatever the defendant is saying or whatever. Whichever is saying. She just go. She just run with it. She don't give you a chance, and I don't like the way she do that. I mean, everybody else give you a chance, but
Right.
she
I
don't.
understand what you're saying. I don't know. I think everybody has their own style.
Hmm.
I have my favorites of the judge shows because each one does have their own style. The only thing that is really about Judy that's a little bit annoying is you don't know how you're going to catch her. You could come on and your whole case you can believe that it is tight and it is ready, but she might be feeling something or heard something that you said, and the
Yeah, you
whole
don't
thing.
know what happened to her
Somebody will
before
speak
she
off.
started the show. Because whatever
Right,
happened outside before she entered them doors,
That's
that's
right.
gonna be the courtroom too.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
Exactly.
only that.
right.
If
She bring
somebody
it to
Somebody
that
took her.
table.
Are
how
you?
you address
Right.
her too.
And you don't know what's
Yeah, how
gonna go
you
down.
address her
What
too.
what'd you say? Oh, you said Shannon about how you address her.
Yeah, it's how you address her too. Like she reads off an attitude. Like if you walk in there with an attitude, she's just gonna eat you.
Yeah,
Like
but I've seen the
me and
time.
grandma, me and grandma used to watch that after school, and we would sit there and giggle because we'd be like, "Oh no, they walked in here with an attitude. She's fixing to eat you up," and we could tell which episode who was gonna win based on their attitude when they walked in, because that's a lot of what she based a lot of her stuff off of. Is like if you walk in here trying to act like you're fixing to tell me A, B, and C, then you got to let me fill out the case, and you're already determining who's winning.
But what about the times when the person wouldn't even get there? Like if they happen to say something or the other person said something and they were just simply answering him, but they didn't even get to anything about what their case was first. And sometimes she'll kick them out. She'll just decide everything without the person even saying anything. So it's kind of like we said before, you
Exactly.
don't know
My point.
exactly how you're gonna catch Judy.
I
My
just
point.
always enjoyed how mouthy she was. That was my favorite thing. I was like, yes, please.
My sister can.
Anytime
My sister
that
eat
was a
it up.
joke
I
in our
don't like
family.
it.
That was a joke in our family. Was anytime somebody did us wrong, we'd be like, "We're gonna take her to Judge Judy." Watch.
Really?
Because
Oh my God. But I mean, it's six of one, half a dozen of the other. Some people really, really enjoy it no matter what. They very supportive. But I just saw times when she just wasn't giving people a fair shake, and that kind of like was like, okay, all right, Judy, all right, y'all, we
enjoy
got
that
enough of that
mouth.
story, huh?
I said, I just enjoy that mouth. I'm
Yeah, she's
like,
very mouthy,
give me that lip service. I'm here for it.
Shannon,
very,
you
very
would. You would, wouldn't you, Shannon?
I guess she sounded like, oh, she ready for that pop off. So,
I am. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
please.
give it to him, Judge Judy, is what she's saying.
oh man. But you know what? I got another story here before we jump off and go into our main subject. Um, Ray J. Okay, I gotta hold my head
Mm.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Mm.
about that.
I haven't, I'm under a rock. I
Mm.
haven't heard nothing about nobody.
Shaking my head.
Really? Now I
Let
love
me
myself some Ray J because Ray J is a character. I love myself some Ray J, but Ray and Princess Love, they just tear up my brain because they go back and forth on that divorce thing like every other week. It just tears my brain up. No two
Oh,
people in this
he
world
finally filed for divorce. Is that what's going on?
again.
Yeah.
And
What
right
happened?
now, yeah, and he's actually having ongoing health issues. I'll let you all know. 40-year-old singer and television personality filed for divorce on Wednesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court. This is what TMZ says. Ray J filed for divorce amid his hospitalization for pneumonia. The star told TMZ that he tested positive for COVID-19 multiple times, but on oxygen, is having difficulty breathing and talking. But he still filed for divorce. Now, they've been married since August 2016. They have two children. Melody is 3, and their son Epic is 21 months. And she had just filed in May of 2020 after accusing him of leaving her and Melody stranded in Vegas. And so they have just done so many things back and forth to one another. It's just like constantly. But how are you going to be laying in bed on oxygen and all kinds of stuff with pneumonia and you worried about filing for divorce?
Did you see my face? I was
See,
like,
It's crazy.
pardon?
and I thought there was something that's, in the story or read somewhere that he was upset because she didn't come see him while he in the hospital. But if you got COVID, you got COVID. They ain't letting nobody come through there to get in contact with you to catch it themselves. So both of y'all be in the hospital. Like, come
Right.
on, that they say that right
Right.
off top. But
That makes
he
sense.
just all in his emotions and all over the place. That's it. That's all that
And his
is.
feelings.
But yeah,
Could you
and
imagine?
they
Could you
Don't you know
imagine?
men are
Oh
just
my
like
God.
babies.
Yeah, they
Could you
like
imagine
babies.
Ray J like sitting in the hospital, like struggling to breathe, and he's just like, she doesn't
but I can
want to
I
come
can
see
sign the
me.
paper though.
She doesn't want to come see me.
She said, I can
Yeah,
How?
sign the paper though.
How
you
dare
and the baby
she?
didn't come see me. Like, dog, they
Where
can't.
is my lawyer?
They
Where is
can't.
my
That is
lawyer?
crazy.
I
That
am
is
being
so crazy.
emotionally
Get the lawyer on
neglected.
the phone. Get the lawyer on the phone. Even though I'm here and I can't breathe, still get my lawyer on the phone. I don't get it.
You know that
You
high
know men
school
are like
couple.
babies when they get
You
sick.
know that couple in high school that are like on and off again, and like the girl will be okay. The girl will be single, and the boys in school will be like, no, we can't talk to her because we know it's only going to be a couple of weeks before they're back together. That's what this
Mhm,
sounds like. Like this sounds like that couple.
mhm.
That's like, you know what? You didn't bring me French fries today at lunch. We're over. We're over. How
Yes,
dare you?
yes.
You
This is
forgot the
so
ketchup.
silly.
You forgot the
Excuse
ketchup.
you know ketchup is my favorite condiment. How dare you?
You,
That just
how you
sounds
get
so
it wrong?
How did you not mustard? You brought me mustard instead of ketchup?
silly. Yes, because they do sound super silly, super silly. And especially if you are ill and you pneumonia. And I understood that his mother, Sonia, spoke up about how he was doing and everything. What's the use in that? You really need to check your son on some mental stuff right this moment. He's laying up in the hospital and he's worried about. Okay, I ain't gonna say no
She,
more. Let me just shut up.
she's like, I
Let
leave that
me
right
shut up.
there. I leave that right
How
there.
are you
I throw
really
my hands
Yes,
up. I leave it right there.
yes.
Right.
So I'm trying my best to understand what was going through Ray J's mind, but I'm sorry, I'm not getting this Ray, and I because he is so charismatic. I
Yeah.
think that he is one of the most
Concentrating on getting
charismatic
well.
people out there. Huh?
Better,
What you
better
say,
concentrate on
Veronica?
getting well. Because
I
You gotta
Yeah,
know.
concentrate on getting well
I like Ray J too. So I hope
instead
he
of
does
concerned about a
recover
daggone
and get
divorce.
well.
Because if you dead, you can't have a divorce.
Right.
Yeah, you gonna be divorced, all right. Divorce in your grave.
That's right. It's some craziness. It's some craziness. So I just wanted to get y'all a few stories down.
And you definitely.
This last story, I've been debating on whether Shannon, did you hear that?
No, because you cut out, baby.
It's a
Okay, yeah,
whisper.
I can
I
see
think
my,
she
my feed over
whispering
here
into
is
the
not
mic.
going that well. I think, yeah, I see my bars when my bars go down. And I think I had some trouble just now. My bars went down. And so, because sometime on the Friday night, because of everything, I do get a little feedback. I guess you can say my whole system goes down and up like that. So, but Veronica was just asking, were you laughing at her? And so that's what I was checking to see before we went into this other little scandalous story. I have one more scandalous story, and then we're going to move on to the living room. Okay. All right. This one gives me a little bit of a headache. Schizophrenic Ken, age 48, he is left a stump after chopping off penis with a kitchen knife following marriage problems.
He left
Now
his
this one
stump with
is
a kitchen knife.
he amputated his own penis.
What? Okay. What?
He left the
What?
stump
Okay.
because he
Yeah, okay, start from the beginning.
What? Because you cut out, and
okay.
I was missing some very important words in the middle of that.
Yeah.
For some reason, I got
Okay,
weak.
yeah. I can see what's
I
happening.
got weak.
I can see my feed. My feed.
It was like
Okay,
stump,
let me go back again because I see.
and then he cut his penis off, and I was like,
Yeah, like, huh?
there was a big jump
Yeah,
between
I
what
can see my
happened.
feet going up a little bit, going up and down a little bit. Okay, so now let me get back in because I see I got all my bars and all that right now. So let me go back again. Schizophrenic Kenyan. He is left with a stump after chopping penis with a kitchen knife following marriage. He is doctors could not reattach because it was not properly to prevent it from becoming infected and it has healed well. Um, he is unidentified so far,
Of
and
course he is.
yeah, they said the medics said that he attributed his action to perennial problems with the spouse, most of which surrounded his reproductive organs. No other details were provided on that particular case, but the
What?
medics did not
What?
clarify if
What?
it was his behavior.
Oh my God! Every time you start talking about something so important, it cuts out. And
Yeah.
this is the
Uh-oh.
most agonizing story I have
Yeah.
ever listened to in my entire life. My entire life. I've just been like, yeah, piece that. I'll piece that together. Okay, cool. Next piece. What's happening? No, no, I
Like
don't.
she just said the juicy part.
Oh.
And then I come back. It reminds me of the
And then
commercial
you
where
come back and you're like at the end of the sentence, and I'm like, no, no.
you
So
see the
Poor
commercial
guy. That's all I can say.
when he
Poor
cut
guy.
his partner cut his thing off because they were having issues because he wasn't
well,
um
they don't really know the full
faithful.
scale. They don't know the full scale of what happened. What they're saying is the medics said act with the spouse reproductive organ, so maybe he couldn't reproduce. Oh boy, did it go out again? I'm sorry.
Yes. So maybe he cut it off himself because he was just that frustrated and was like, it's not working.
Right.
And we just arguing and I can't take this and I'm already going crazy anyway. So he just
Wait. He cut his own thing. Listen.
Yes.
He cut his own thing off.
His own
yeah,
thing.
his own self cut his own thing off. But cut it wrong. The way
I
he
don't
cut it,
I don't know.
they couldn't sew it back together again.
Any man that
Right.
would sit
So
up
it ain't
here
no
and
Humpty Dumpty.
you know what? You know what? You don't want it. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of
Shop.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know. No man.
Let's
outside
go.
of his right mind or in it that would willingly do that just to prove a point. I don't know any man.
Don't matter how drunk they are, they ain't chopping that off.
That's the
I don't know
homie.
what
What are you
happened with
talking
that.
about? That's the day one. The day one.
That's the day one, yeah.
Day one.
Yes. I don't get it.
Because they know
I don't get it. You know, sometimes people do something.
once they do that, they not getting no more at all ever again. Like,
Let me say
Go
this.
from her or the next one.
Right, but think about it this way. Have you ever seen situations where people are angry and they're fighting? Because it said something, there's something in the article about his reproductive organs, right? Something wasn't going right. So maybe he wasn't able to have a baby. Something happened that made him go
He's
left
it
like
don't
that.
even work right. I'm just gonna get rid of it anyway.
Something
like,
happened,
dang,
you know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, he regretted it, but they said they couldn't reattach it, right? So
Well,
something in there, something in there went really wrong. And they say, you know, of course, that regret kick in.
one time choice.
He didn't sharpen the knife beforehand, so
he would click.
He
tossed
violent
it.
it. He violent it all the way.
And he didn't take it and put it on some ice.
I am weak.
They said that had he preserved
I
it
am
properly.
weak.
Yes, if he preserved it properly, it could have been reattached. But apparently, when he took it and he chopped it off and he left it there like some old sausage, he did not do what he should have done and preserved it. He should have saved it just in case he changed his mind, but he did not.
He didn't even put it on ice. He wasn't even like, you know what, partner? You know
What was he just holding it in his hand like a kid with a
I know we did something wrong today. But let me go ahead and
like, what do I do with this?
I'm telling you, something went really, really, really wrong. I mean, something went really,
Lord
really wrong
have
in his
mercy,
mind.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, in his mind, he just.
I'm not messing with
Yeah.
you three tonight. Y'all, something wrong with y'all. I'm not messing with y'all
He
tonight.
was
Something
past
wrong with
mad
y'all.
if he did that. Way past mad.
He was just like, you know what? He was like, and then he was like, this don't even work right. Like, figured out the yard. And then it was like throwing keys out in the middle of the night at a lake or some shit, you know? And they had to go.
Yeah.
So it's like all in the grass.
Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I might want it again.
A couple of, you know, they ain't picked up behind the dog in a couple days. They're like, oh, I found it. No, I didn't. That's not what it was.
Right.
It must have gone down just like that because they said, no, you didn't preserve it properly. You can't reattach it.
They were like,
It's
sir,
over.
you can't leave this outside overnight.
Yes. And so now his name is
It's
Stumpy.
not a piece of pizza. You can't leave it on the oven. You got to put it in the freezer.
Yes. I should have called that man Stumpy, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So what we're gonna do is we are going to travel past Mr. We're gonna travel past Mr. and go about our business into the living room, y'all. It's time for us to share. That's what he must have done. Maybe that's what he did. That's what he did. He waved goodbye. And he should have preserved it. And that's what happened to the situation. So, y'all, let's go into the living room. Let's go into the living room, y'all. welcome to the living room. If you're just now joining us, we were just spiking the tea just now. Who spiked the tea? And we had all kinds of topics going on there, from stumpy to dumpy, because we're going to say Ray J dumping Princess Love. So from stumpy to dumpy, we had all kinds of stuff going on. So right now, it's time for the living room. So in case you missed it, the topic for tonight, rewind. If you could rewind the clock, how would you change your life? So this question came about. This is just something that I came across, and I think about how people, when they get to a certain age, some people start reflecting. Some people start reflecting in their 30s. A lot more people start reflecting in their 40s. I think that's transitional years right there, and then definitely start looking in their 50s for sure. They looking like they're kind of late in the 50s, but people start saying, my gosh, if I could rewind the clock, you know, I do some things a little bit differently. Or some people are happy with right where they are. So that's tonight's topic. Um, I'm going to get some information for you all, for you. Like we always like to leave people at the end with some information and some advice. But what would you all say just to start off? Anybody have any feelings of where you are? Because Shan, you're in the 30s, you're the 30
Yeah.
range. So what are you feeling as far as this type of topic?
Um, the okay, so the only thing that comes to mind, so I mean, I've been through a lot of physical abuse and all that stuff, emotional abuse and stuff, but I feel like the one thing that really comes to mind when I'm like, dang, that really could have changed my whole life, was
Mm-hmm.
my mom could have moved to Dallas when I was in 5th grade. And we really considered moving, and the only reason why we didn't is because I was in 5th grade. I was in private school up until 4th grade, and I didn't, straight up, I didn't have any friends before
Mm-hmm.
5th grade, before I started public school, and I had just started making friends. So she was like, maybe we should stick around, because I had just started, socializing on a normal pattern at that point. So she was like, they stuck around because of me, because I fought it, because I was like, I finally have some friends and I don't want to leave here. But my life could have been completely different. I could have been so much further in art by now. I could have been so much further in the art community by now. I could have been so much more established. Maybe I wouldn't even had to go to the Art Institute for graphic design. Maybe I could have just went straight for art and I wouldn't even had to go down that path. It could have completely altered, and maybe because I was in more of swim than art at that point, maybe I wouldn't even been involved in art. Maybe I would have, gone to the Olympics for swimming instead. So
Okay.
it could have completely altered my life path if I would have just been like more, because it was me. I threw a fit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a whole emotional breakdown. So, I mean, my life could have been completely different if if my mom would have been more stern and just been like, no, we're moving. I'm going to take this job opportunity because it's better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand that. I definitely understand that. Anybody else have anything? Veronica, you have anything that you could
Um,
think of?
I would have went back to um back in the 80s. They had when they started doing the bypasses and stuff. They did it. They had a thing called the stomach stapling,
Mm-hmm.
and I got mine done in the 80s. I got a lot like the summer of '86 when I was turning into a senior, my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of my senior year, I went and had the stomach stapling done. And if I can go back to that year where they did it, and I could go back to follow those guidelines and lost the weight that I was aiming for and
Mm-hmm.
maintained up to now, I probably would have done that. And everything that I've learned from then to now, I would have changed everything, everything, relationships,
Understand.
everything the not technology that I know, the knowledge that I know about the cancer to keep my mother here, to keep my father here, all of that. I'll probably go back and change it all.
Right. Okay. What about you, Margot?
Woo! Um, I think I would rewind all the way back to uh, definitely high school. I think I would be a whole lot more outspoken and
Hmm.
go forward and doing certain things that I had talked about doing, but wasn't confident enough in doing, especially like even try to see about doing like prom queen and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't feel like I knew enough people that would probably even vote for me because I was kind of like
Hmm.
an undercover nerd. We sat at certain tables and hung with certain groups, so our group was still cool, but
Yeah,
we was smart as hell, but wasn't like out there.
not as
So
popular.
do it. Yeah, and it was a couple of things
Right.
that I would figure out people knew or would say about me, but they were positive things. But I never would knew it because they didn't speak up either. So um,
Hmm.
do high school over. Tell the one guy that I did like very much. Just start talking to him. Person I had butterflies for. Just be more forward with what I was thinking and what I was going through at that time. Um, my 20s would do it all over. I would definitely speak up and tell people, "Oh, I like you. Oh, I don't like you. Oh, you're full of shit." No, stuff like that would really
Right.
pass through the BS real quick. And as far as like relationships and stuff like that too, would get out of dead end or negative relationships a whole lot quicker. And just knowing and growing
Mhm.
and telling myself, there's certain things that you were thinking uh, and holding what somebody was saying about you, but that stuff isn't true. And you are more than what they're saying. You just got to know it for yourself. So keep moving. I would be a lot more bold and a lot more creative and a lot more out there and just show it all to the world in a positive way. My creativity and the way I dress, the way I carry myself, poetry writing, all that kind of stuff, and just be more outspoken for sure. So
Okay.
that's what I would go back and rewind and start that early versus kind of later in life.
See, I
Right.
don't even know if I would take away the bad relationships because those brought me more
Learning.
self-awareness than I ever, I think I would have had if I was a good relationship, and
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean, not
and I mean, I
It's a lot of
wouldn't
self
right.
learning
Mhm.
because it's
change it
bad
all, but I
relationships.
definitely in that area would cut out some of it, if not all of it, at least the part where my kids came into play. I wouldn't cut out that part
Right.
because I wouldn't trade that or rewind that at all.
But you got
What?
to understand
My whole
your
thing.
children's soul chooses you as a mother before they get here. So you would have there's a high possibility you would have ended up having your children just in a different vessel with someone
Yeah,
else.
Well,
yeah.
something I wanted to bring to,
I would have been more helpful.
let me bring this to y'all real quick. I don't know if you, Shannon, you and Margot watched this, but Veronica and I watched Ordinary Joe. I haven't watched it this week yet, Veronica, but Ordinary Joe is a show that's on NBC, and it's about the life paths that this guy took. And throughout the show, every week, it shows these three different life paths that he could have taken, and it shows what happened, and that's the whole show. You got to keep up. You got to keep up because it moves. You
Hmm.
got to be like this is that Joe. Okay, that's that Joe. Okay, he was either a cop, a doctor, or no, he was a nurse, a cop, a nurse, or a big singer performer. So you got to keep up. So I
Singer,
think about
singer.
that,
Hmm.
right? And I think about that when it comes to my own life, because it seemed like my path, okay, everything changed for me when the tumor, the tumor underneath my brain, that's when everything, all my roads changed. So what I think about is
Hmm.
what I would have done a little differently. I love the path that I took it into entertainment. Never saw this coming at all. Didn't choose it. It chose me because I certainly did not choose entertainment. I want to be a doctor. And somebody talk about,
Oh,
yeah, being, I mean, girl, I went to the University of Texas and did my undergrad. Most of it, I was 30 hours away from my graduation when all this tumor stuff got really, really bad. They put me out of school. And all I wanted to be was a doctor. And I was like, anything with entertainment and RTF, radio, television, film, we called that underwater basket weaving. We didn't care about nothing like that. I was taking engineering calculus. I had no time for no mess like that,
yeah,
you know.
right.
And then to get sick, it ended up in this business, and it just happened. These doors just kept opening, opening, opening. And so that's when I knew that this must have been a path for me, because I had never seen doors open, open, open like this. I had never seen a situation where I was just go to work as an office manager at a newspaper there in Austin, Texas, and the next thing I know is I decided, I wanted to write for the paper, and I became entertainment editor, and I started interviewing all these stars. I mean, my first interview that I went to was Morris Day and the Time and Evelyn Champagne King. But the first time they turned me loose was right after that. To do it by myself was Bobby Brown and Tony Terry. And I told Tony Terry years later, I said,
Mm.
had that gone wrong, that interview with him gone wrong, I might not have been here. But
You're
it was,
right.
yeah, very profound. And from there, I went on to Guy and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And for years, it was everybody from your Howard Hewitts to your Queen Latifahs to your everything. We did it for years and years and years. And so never chose this. And I mean, I'm that back there writing for a newspaper and being in radio with an agent and everything. I never chose this business at all. It's just like it chose me. So I feel pretty good on that path. But there were some things that happened at different times. If I look back, if I
Mm-hmm.
rewind, I would have done them differently. So let's get
Mm-hmm.
into that. Let's get into that when it comes to the things that you would do differently on your path. When it comes to, like Shannon talked about her family, first of all, do you have any regrets of how you dealt with family or family members or family situations? Other, I know Shannon talked about yours, but do you have any regrets there? And then we can go into some other things about career and love life and all that. I just want to see how you all feel about some individual subjects.
Oh, yeah, I did because I mean I was obese in school, in high school, and so if I would have went on and lost that weight, my thing would have been a little bit smarter. I would either went to college, or if I would have got in shape enough, I probably would have went in my dad's footsteps and went in the army, and
Mm,
went behind, did what he done. And I probably been just get ready to retire right about now if I would have
okay,
went on into the military. So,
okay.
or either college, it didn't matter. I mean, I wanted to do one or the other because neither one of my parents went to college,
Mhm.
and I was wanted to be the first one since might be me being the oldest, of the three girls. I wanted to be the first one to do that, but if I could turn back the hands of time, that would have probably been what I would have done.
Okay, I got you. What about you,
Yeah.
Shannon and Margot?
I could sit up here and be like, I wish I would have stayed out of the streets. I could sit up here and be like, I wish I wouldn't have gotten involved with A, B, and C the way that I did. But I could sit up here and be like, if I wasn't with this man, I probably wouldn't have gotten abused in the way that I did. But honestly, I feel like we go through those situations in order to be able to mold the strength that we need in order to be able to progress through our own individual life paths.
Right.
The only thing that I feel like I
Right.
wish I would have had more of is, or that I could change, is not necessarily understanding toward people in my daily life, but more so understanding toward my parents.
Right.
And like me now at going into 32 this year, you know, my mom had me at 30. It's like I understand now. That's, even though I'm 30-year-old woman, that's like you're still trying to figure shit out. Like, what do you mean? Like, and to have a whole kid, if I had a whole child right now,
Mm-hmm.
I would be losing my mind. I would be losing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I had a child in the midst of all this artistic chaos, I would be losing my mind. There is no
Right.
way I could be doing this. I mean,
Right.
I probably could. Don't get me wrong. I probably could do a child and do this at the same time. But like that's so much more chaos. So I really wish that if I could go back, I would have more understanding toward my parents and the trauma that they went through, and how they had to cope and fight and be able to develop into the type of person to be able to raise. Like, my dad had me and my brother and my sister, and my mom only had me. But my
Mm-hmm.
mom walked into a situation where she had two other kids who didn't necessarily respect her because she was the stepmother, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wish I would have had more understanding as a child through for the trauma that my parents had gone through and the trials and tribulations that they went through in order to get from point A to point B, in order to
Right.
take care of three kids, have a house, you know, and be able to, my mom be able to be the breadwinner of the house, and my dad, you know, stay home and deal with all the chaos that happens in the daily house.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely wish I would have more understanding for
Right.
everything that happened. Like
That,
everything else, like, you
mhm.
can sit up here and be like, "Oh, I wish I would have, you know, done this differently, or I wish I would have been here, or I wish I would have been there." But the fact of the matter is, it's up to you how you lived through those situations that made you who you are. What I really wish, looking back, is I wish I would have stepped away from myself so I could have had more understanding of the people around me. So I
Mhm.
would have been able to communicate better with them so
Mhm.
they could be in a healthier place now than we are at this point. Because we
Okay.
would have been so much further now if we would all had the amount of understanding that we have now. We would have been so
Right.
much further if we would have had it then.
I'll say this. Patti LaBelle sang a song called "If You Ask Me to." Celine Dion remade it. Remember, this was a Patti LaBelle song, and Patti LaBelle actually wrote the book too. And in the book, she spoke about how her sisters died of cancer, and had she like she used to make the egg sandwich for her sisters and everything when they were dying for cancer, and had times when she would be so frustrated when she would get that call, come and do something for her, you know, her sister or something like that, and she was really busy and she just didn't want to do it, but she, turning back the clock, I think she had a certain type of regrets that she didn't feel better about how she responded in the situation. So every time I hear that song, I think about, I read the book, beautiful book, because I think we all have our different regrets of how we responded to something or the
Hmm.
things that we did in a situation, but we're only human. Because I even felt that way when my sister died, you know, could have done more, wanted to do more. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
our human side gets to us, you know. I think that my regret is that I would have taken more time, since I have lost my father and my sister and a lot of family members all around us. I would have taken more time to appreciate that they could be gone quickly. And if I had the chance to rewind on this issue, I would really celebrate them a whole lot more, because you could look around like now. And my mother had well, she had 6 siblings, but only 5 lived for a longer life. One died in the 20s, but for the most part, everybody around my mother passed away. Parents, of course, grandparents and aunts, uncles, siblings, everything. And so we're left with just cousins now. I have no aunts, no uncles, greats or otherwise, no grandparents, no nothing, because we lost people early in life. So if I had
Oh,
to
yeah.
look back and think about it, it would be to pay attention a whole lot quicker and earlier to my family members, because one day they just might not be here. What do you think, Margo? What about for you?
Yeah, I had thought about that as our conversation continued. There was a time or two to where um, I was in school and we were talking about history lessons or that audible history from family members that lived through certain time frames, and I was like, man, I should have took like a back in the day, a tape recorder or something to sit with my great grandmother and just recorded stories of,
Yeah,
her as a young child and how those family members were and things of that nature. And
right,
it was like, something was kind of prompting me to it at a young age, but it's like I didn't know how to really do it. And,
right.
it's like, so I just missed the opportunity to do so. But
Mhm.
to start paying more closer attention to, elders and getting those stories, those memories that are going to continue to last for a lifetime as you pass them down and, with your family and the youth in your family to keep them
Mhm.
going, because those are the beautiful parts of the
Yes.
people that were here, and their lives are um their
Mhm.
lives are valuable, their lives are important, their lives are a part of you that got you to where you are today. So that's definitely something that I think that I would do, to really get to know those family members. Like, what did you really desire to do or dream to do with yourself, with
Right.
the gift that you were given? And
Right.
certain little other things, maybe even waited to fully get to know myself before I had kids, because I had my first son when I was 20 going on 21. So,
Really? Okay.
let alone, my 20s were, a part of really if you think about it, a whole lot more self discovery. So, and
Okay.
then I didn't even get to know if I had a wild side or not. So that was something that was never really, so
Right.
it was like instant mom, instant everything else, wife and all that stuff. And I don't regret that union or that part that played in
Okay.
my life that brought me kids. Even some of
Okay.
the tough times that brought the hardest life lessons did teach me, how to persevere, how to continue to keep going, and how to take those things, um, how to deal with them, period, to where I
Right.
wouldn't lose my mind, even though they were super heavy. And it's
Mhm.
something that brought me closer to God as well as my spiritual self, which I'm very thankful for. So, I have that strong foundation, that core, that realizing that can't be shaken.
Right. Okay. Now I gotta ask Shannon what in the world she doing over there. What you cooking? What are you
What you
cooking,
cooking
Shannon?
in your kitchen, girl?
I haven't eaten dinner yet. I
Uh
told y'all
huh.
it was a long day, so I'm making steak, asparagus. I've got some onions to throw on the asparagus and some like little cucumbers that I'm putting in the oven.
Uh huh.
Oh, that sound
So,
good. You treating yourself. That
I'm
sound real
Chef
good.
Boyardee in this kitchen, and I
I
got
know
Yeah,
that's right.
Chef Boyardee.
I got some, southern
uh,
style
Ranch
Oh,
style.
I
jalapeno.
haven't seen those since I have lived in Texas. I have not seen those beans since I was in Texas.
These are delicioso, if I do say so myself. Put a little put a little BBQ sauce in here.
I didn't understand those
Right.
beans when I first got there. I was like, what do they do with these beans? I was very annoyed
They make them
because
southernly. What you mean?
I didn't understand. I never had it before. I had never had that before. And I was like, what the
They
hell are they
make
doing
them
with
like you
these
in the
beans?
South. What do you mean?
Ranch
Girl,
style beans. Yeah.
yeah, I came from
You
I
you
came
gotta
from
say
North
yeehaw
Carolina.
when you eat them.
No, right before I came, right before I came to Texas, I came from North Carolina. Girl, a ranch style bean, what before?
Every time you think about it, you got to be like, yeehaw.
Girl. I mean, I learned to like them while I was there, but I was at first, oh, who the hell? What is doing this? But I think about the whole thing when it comes to turning back the clock. Let me ask you all. Let's go to love life when it comes back to rewinding. Yes, Shannon, I said that. When it comes to rewinding, what would you do different? I know, Margo, you kind of talked about a little bit, because you said you didn't get a chance to experience something because you got married earlier. So what would you do, given the chance that you all could go back right now and do it? Shannon, you still kind of there. You still can change it all right now, but what would y'all do differently?
I would have kicked them men out way sooner. Way sooner.
Okay.
They ain't
Yeah,
paid
way
no
earlier
bills.
with that.
They ain't paid no bills. They sitting up under me, fucking bitching about doing dishes. Do what? Get the hell out my house. That's exactly what I would have done. I would have held less guilt over where somebody else was going and held more, what's the word I'm looking for? More self-respect than guilt over someone else's situation. Because I put the guilt of someone else's situation over my self-respect in numerous situations.
Okay.
So most definitely I would have been like, yeah, no, thank you. Here's your trash bag that you came in with. You can exit stage left with the same trash bag.
Your damn trash bag.
Door. Amen. In fact, you know what? I gave you a hefty walking out. You came in with Walmart brand. I upgraded you. You are welcome.
Yeah.
Now you can make it to your next destination without a worry because you got a hefty, baby. You're welcome.
And it ain't gonna tear. It ain't gonna tear.
No, you gonna make it.
I know that's right. I'm gonna tell you one thing that, for me, I think I just didn't pay attention. I was so ambitious for so many years, and people always ask, "How many times have you been proposed to?" I'm like, none. I just was never in. And they asked me, "How many serious relationships have you been in?" I'm like, not really many, one or two. I just was never serious about the relationship because I was just so ambitious about my career, of where I was wanting to take my company and the things that I do. So maybe I would have paid attention just a little bit more. I don't know if I would have gotten too much closer.
If it makes you feel any better, I've been engaged a couple of times and I still didn't pay attention to that shit. So, in fact, I got a couple rings from back when I was like, one was when I was 16 and the other one was when I was 24 that I still need to go pawn or sell or get some money back in some type of way for. So, I mean, and I'm still not married at 32 because let's be real, there's a part of you that wakes up and is like, I don't have to settle for this bull. I really don't.
Right.
I can find somebody that loves me just as much as I love myself.
Right.
And for someone to decrease that thought or to belittle that thought, they just haven't walked into themselves yet.
Right. I understand that. And something I think for me is that I had a lot of guy friends. I worked in production, working in production, and you're behind the scenes of production, and me being a director and doing camera and all kinds of stuff like that. I dealt with a lot of men. So therefore, because that's where a lot of men were. And they would always...
That's what that is. You up to their trickery. You like,
yeah, because they always told me things that they were my friends, and they were like, "We're trying to save you." How many times did I hear that? We're trying to
save you. Save you from what?
I still walk into the lion's den. I'm like,
I ain't drowning. What you trying to save me for?
What? they were funny
Listen,
because they were
I am
like,
a
they,
fresh piece of meat waiting to be devoured. What do you mean, lion's den?
but see, they actually didn't feel like I needed. In other words, they were speaking to me from the other side, and they were saying, "You don't need to be in a relationship. You're doing fine. Keep going because where you are and the things that you're doing, we wish that we could because we have these spouses and girlfriends that are telling us that we can't do this, that, and the other." And so I understand what they were saying to me, but it didn't stop me from still at times, and I would slow down at times, like I'd be somewhere real cool, like somewhere some record label some would have us at some really chill ass setting party whatever, and I think this would be really cool to be here on a date with someone. I mean, because I would be in some cool ass places. If I left entertainment today, I have done some cool shit. And so
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
dead as serious. It's been stuff would make it just take your breath away if you knew some of the things that we've done. And I remember I was thinking it'd be nice to have someone there, but then again, like the guys had always told me, they said, "Look, girl, it comes with a price too. The fact that you were here and you're able to do this without somebody on the phone talking about when you're going to get home, what's the problem? Why can't I go?" I understood exactly what they were saying, but I still had
Mhm.
that yearning at times. But I do understand exactly what they were saying. That there would have been somebody on the phone and at the home who was mad as hell when I got there, starting some crap unnecessarily, all kinds of things. So I do understand what they were saying. What do y'all feel about y'all's experiences when it comes to that? Ronk is back. Ron, we're talking about if you
Hey,
had to,
Veronica.
if Veronica got some stories for your ace, Veronica, when it comes to love life, Veronica got some stories.
You know,
She got some stories.
I've had a lot of men that are like really insecure. Like my last boyfriend got to the
Uh-huh.
point where I'd have to ask him like what photos are appropriate for me to post on Instagram and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't necessarily like, oh, he told me I needed to go through him. It's just that I could tell, like you can
Right.
just tell when their ego's getting a little bit. And I apologize to all men out there. I don't want to like come off as like we can read you that well, but
We can read you that
so
well.
you know, so anyways, but you can just tell when they're getting a little frazzled, especially if you're like
Mhm.
a little bit more successful than them. So like I would start
Yeah.
running my pictures by him and stuff, but it was like I could feel that, wow, I wouldn't be able to participate in an art show the same, or I wouldn't be able to do A, B, and C the same way. But I'll let you know, like with Steven, considering he's in the same industry and he's also an artist, I find it a lot easier to be like, I can be open with him about, my, can I say OnlyFans on here? My OnlyFans. I can be
Uh-huh.
like, I can be open with him about that and my photographer and stuff like that. I can be open with him about art shows. He likes to kind of like sit on the sidelines and like listen to men attempt to flirt with me because he knows that I'm not like really shifting anywhere. He likes to hear about those stories. So I think it really like depends, like if your person is in the same industry as you and they understand what you're doing, or they understand that, hey, this is kind of a persona that I have to put off in order to be
Mhm.
able to do A, B, and C.
Still,
And
no. It
yeah,
depends on their security because I have seen it
exactly.
at times when I have seen guys that were really liking, excited about the fact that they always saw me on red carpets and doing things, but after you start dating you, then it changed. It changed into a different story. So I've
Right.
seen that
They
other
can
side
be
of it.
excited, but it also depends on if they're in the industry as well. Like if they are as
Right.
equally as successful as you,
Hmm.
or right on their coattails, or right in front of you. Those are the things that really matter. Because if they're right in front
Yeah.
of you, they're gonna like to look back and be like,
But then
yeah,
I've seen some
isn't she?
really crazy stuff. It's like you could see the jealousy right there, and that wasn't fun. That wasn't fun. And then I started getting to a point where I just kind of hid it away.
Mhm.
Veronica, what's your story? What would you change love life wise if you could turn back the clock? Because Veronica got more stories than a law allow. I mean, she's good on this whole relationship. Tell her, Rock, don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Don't let this big girl look. You know, going back to the beginning of the show, our very first show that we had, and we was talking about there's no men out there for big women. That's a lie.
Oh, girl, it's
But
a
you know,
lot. Our season is coming. Our season is coming. It's finna get cold. They gonna need some thickness somewhere to keep them warm.
I
So
know it,
The
girl.
don't
I
season is
know it.
here.
I
The
know it.
season is here. Look, it
And,
ain't
but
coming, Margo.
come
if I
these
can go back to saying
holidays. They
that,
gonna want some good cooking and all that stuff. So it's coming. It's coming.
hmm
Hey, just found out I got that
like
good
I
way
said,
back
back
spell.
then they had the
All
undercover me.
right. All right.
Exactly.
We in
Oh
that for
man.
that season 2. Let me just go ahead and
You know,
put
it's
in my
just
RSVP.
Right. So Veronica, what would you change? What would you make different if you had to turn back the hands of time on the love life? Veronica? Because I know she
rest
has a
in
delay.
peace to
Okay.
my heart.
Uh-huh.
Rest in peace to my heart. I mean, if I can go back the hands of time and change his outlook,
Hmm.
to what he was doing, and I can change him, I probably
Right.
would. That probably be the only thing I could do. Is change that one person.
Right.
And because that's who I fell in love with. And I
Okay.
knew he was gonna be the one. So
Okay. Okay.
he probably the only one I can. You know, as far as being, you know,
I got you. I got you. Like, cause Veronica got some story. I wonder what she's gonna say. Let's let her warm up for a minute before we go any further. You know what? I know Beastline has dominated our comments tonight. And see, she has been all over the place. Let me see what she's saying. Because I'm now feeling all too well. Huh, what? Please don't let your weight. Oh, she said, please don't let your weight hold you back from anything. You damn right, girl. Because I now
oh, don't
feeling
worry
all
about it,
too
honey. I'm
well.
not.
Yes. And saying TT was
Don't
not having
worry.
that. Damn right. Yeah, because Beastline, she's gotten out there and done a lot of things, and she knows I've gotten out there and done a lot of things. I never allowed to hold me back, even times when I wasn't feeling good about my weight. I never stopped dating. I never stopped doing the industry. I never stopped anything. You know, what I was doing. I didn't care who didn't give a damn about me standing on stage, getting on in front of a TV screen, anything. I mean, this is internet right here, and this is really cool that we have this platform. But I've done broadcast TV where you have millions of viewers, and that's why, like I was saying to y'all, oh, look at me. I was saying to y'all at the beginning of the show, no matter if I had to do this show tonight by myself, the show must go on because in broadcast TV, I wish your ass would be talking about I'm going to cancel this show tonight. No, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going no matter what. Even if you just sit there talking to you. So you would have found an imaginary friend to talk to and get that show done. And that's just how I
She like, you
feel.
gonna hear
No,
me
Right.
first, whether
yes,
whether
no
me or
kidding.
everybody else, but you gonna hear me.
Yes, there's
Right.
millions of people that we have aired to over time. I accept the challenge. I always will accept the challenge. I got a little
I know.
scary when we
I
first
know I'm a
started
little
doing YouTube.
delayed.
Uh-huh.
I know I'm a little delayed. I know I'm a little delayed.
Right.
Um, y'all can hear me tonight, but by the time I got to the maybe the seventh grade, by the time I got to the seventh grade,
Uh-huh.
my weight won't nothing to be play with, cause I was all over the place. Margaret, this is what Tanya's talking about right here. I was
Yes.
everywhere, girl. I There ain't no shame in my game.
uh,
I flunked the seventh grade, chasing after the band members,
oh,
chasing after them guys in the band.
she was
So,
like, I'm gonna make my
I
own
was
song with the
I know
there
that's
them drummers. I
yeah,
was after those
let them
drummers.
drum,
I was girl.
drummers.
right. I know that's right.
I just had a ball. Starting from the 7th grade, that's when I really, really came out. And I was doing my thing. I mean, I didn't let my weight bother me after that because
Right.
a guy came to me and said, "Don't
Maybe
never
7th grade.
let nobody put you down." And what, Shannon?
Wait. Seventh grade. What were we doing in 7th grade?
After the band
Running
members
behind.
and the drummers running
Well,
behind them.
Mhm.
Veronica was
that's
fast.
young.
As they
Y'all
can
out
say,
here,
she was
Yes,
y'all out
fast.
here being
yeah, she said
children.
it ain't no shame. She was doing it young.
That's
She was
children.
fast. That's because Veronica was what they say when
Oh,
they
You
said
know,
that ain't all. That
I didn't lose my
that ain't
virginity until I
all.
was 16.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
To
got a
what
lease and
age?
everything, and I still stayed
Y'all, ladies,
pure as the driven snow.
ladies.
I say
I
I
know.
say
I know
18,
we're on.
17, 18.
Mm-mm.
Well, I want to hear what this.
I
What
ain't gonna say
Veronica?
all
What
that,
you
but
say?
hey, listen. Let me tell y'all something. The 7th grade, like I
Uh-huh.
said, I came out. I mean, I came out the box. I got caught up under the stairway with the fella after school.
Hmm.
Veronica was
Hmm.
bad.
I had some homegirls that got expelled from high school for doing the same thing behind the bleachers.
Veronica is
How they get expelled though?
What? They got
I had
expelled
to
because
get
they
on the
got caught.
PA system and apologize to the whole school.
Girl, they got
no.
expelled because they got caught with it in their mouth. What do you mean? What do you mean? They got caught mid
I didn't get
exercise.
expelled. I had to apologize.
Oh my
I
gosh.
had to apologize to the whole school because by the time we got back to school the next morning,
Uh-huh.
everybody in the
I'm
school
sorry for
knew.
playing with ding-a-ling before the school bell
Mm-mm, I was
rang.
getting it
Before the school bell rings.
Y'all too much. And see, Veronica, like they
It
say in
was
the
after
country,
school bell ring.
fast.
I'm sorry for getting caught with dang-a-ling after the school bell rang-a-lang. Is that better for you?
Oh
Y'all
Lord.
too much.
Oh Lord.
Y'all too much. But I ain't mad. I ain't mad. So, what would you do differently, though?
Me and Tanya,
But what would
I wouldn't have
what's
done it. I would have never done it.
Oh,
Okay.
I would have
I
never
I
done it.
I
I would have waited. I got home, or I
Margo?
would have went. There was some
see.
woods across the
I don't have no
street.
I
stories like
wouldn't have
that.
done
That's
it.
what
I
I'm
would have
I'm
went to
just
the
saying.
like
Like,
I
woods.
would have done it.
no, I'm just saying. Me rewinding back some would be like trying to find a little bit more of a wilder side because I didn't really
Right.
do too much. I guess I was either too scared or too nervous because I was with grandparents and stuff. I was with my mom for a minute. Then I was
Right.
with my grandparents, and
So you
so
had
that
to
was
fear the
very,
Lord.
yeah, yeah. And so that's a different type of fear because that's a whew, uh, so it's just
I
like,
went
okay,
with my
you better
grandparents.
just
Yeah.
just straight and narrow, scared to open my legs wide enough to walk down the street, like like you
You didn't
got.
have just your grandparents behind that. You had the power of Jesus behind those hands.
Yes,
That's a whole
yes,
different
that
feeling.
too,
That's a
No,
whole
not,
different
that
not
feeling.
too.
Jesus.
So,
Not Jesus. There's a difference
Jesus.
between
but I think
Jesus
in
and
my
Jesus.
20s, I would probably go
Yeah.
back and kind of explore the adventurous or a little bit more freedom and a little bit more wilder side. Not too wild, just a little change of wild, just a little sprinkle,
Right.
little something. Get a couple of those
Right.
stories, but
I
not
wish I would have
completely
brought
like
mine
that though.
down.
You brought yours down. Your fire was too high. You
I
would
wish I
have
would have
brought it
brought
Right.
down
mine
too.
Right.
down.
And
Well,
that's
mine
the
was
thing.
too
Limited the
high.
body count.
She was hot to
I was too
tell.
high. I was out
I,
the
w- I would
stage.
You
I'm with
would have
Veronica.
what?
I would have limited the body count a little bit. I would have brought that body count down just a little bit. I would have not
Look,
done that.
me and Tanya, me and Tanya
Oh,
have
thank
a
you.
cousin. We have a cousin. You have to hear him tell it because he was there. You have to hear him tell the whole
We got to bring
story.
him on. We bring
He,
him on. We had to bring him on because
he was
I'm
supposed
sure
to be the
he.
watch out guy, and then he took off running, but he could tell you the whole story.
Oh my
Took off
God.
running. What
Wait. Took off
running from
running from
what?
what?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was the watch out person. He was supposed to be
For
watching
what?
out,
What he
making
looking
sure
Oh,
there
out
was
he's
for?
supposed to
nobody
be watching
coming,
that while you do your
make sure
dirt.
all the
He's
kids
the
was
lookout.
gone.
Yo, I gotta see.
You're supposed
Yes,
to say woo woo. He give you the code word
yes,
woo woo. Like
yes.
Is that
he
so?
didn't
He would
warn you. He just took off. Said
he would make
forget
the
y'all.
siren sound. Hold up. So he would make the
He
siren sound
took
before
off,
the
and
sirens
when we
actually
looked up,
happened.
when
What
we
do you
looked
say,
up, the
Rod?
teacher was standing there.
Oh.
Damn, he didn't even be like school woo. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't get a warning call. He just read like forget
Yeah,
y'all. Just
when he
forget
got
y'all.
home and called me.
Oh my
Dang,
God. Yeah,
dang.
we're gonna have to talk to him. We're gonna get him
He
to come in
called
and defend
me when he
himself
got
on
We
the
home and said,
gonna
show.
have to have a girls'
sorry.
night for real, for real. We gonna have to plan out a girls' night where we
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
like come up here and
yeah.
talk less.
Oh
Because
my God.
I got some stories that aren't meant for this one, but
I
there's
know.
some stories.
You notice I'm very quiet. I'm very quiet
I
here.
want to do some
But
That's
better
some that
internet.
sound like some stuff I need to learn. Shit, the element rose. That's something I need to learn.
Definitely
yeah.
listen. I had how wait, is it statute of limitations? I was 17. Is it past that yet? I'm 32. I'm about to
Yeah.
be 32. I've
Yeah.
ran from some cops.
Yeah, you
Um,
okay? Yeah.
I used to do a lot of things back in the
Uh-huh.
day that I do not do anymore.
Not that face. That face didn't do that many things. Not that face.
I mean, I didn't do I mean, I wasn't like pedaling, but I was driving. So there were
Mm.
a few things we got away with thanks to yours truly. So, you know.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna have to have the girls' night that's
Shit,
not
I
on,
thought
on the
it bad.
platform and see and talk about some stuff. But
You
we
know,
gotta have
hold on. I just gotta mention this and we can like bring it back up on
uh-huh.
another girls' night. One of the okay, so there was one night, okay, I used to, like I said, I used to run. I used to run, right? So I didn't run. We don't run. We don't run like this. We run like this,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
Mhm.
We get away from it, okay?
Mhm.
So the one night that I ran away from the most cops, it was like I want to say 6 of them, and they did something really stupid. They caught themselves up in a corner because of how the parking lots were in this particular area. But I was in the middle of something with a boyfriend. So I actually got away from these police officers with no pants on at the time. And it is one of my favorite. I was 3 blocks up before I got up to put pants on.
She said with no pants on.
No, no
Just
pants.
running.
I was 3
Just
blocks up
flashing.
before I put pants on.
Just
Well, it was dark. It
So
was dark out.
I was
gonna
like,
have to
did y'all
hear
see
this
that little
transcript.
that bright white blob run by? Like
I'm just telling you, I
what was
was the
that?
brightest one on the block.
But we got to hear the shared
Bad
She
girl,
stories
said the
on
bad
bright
off
girl.
what
air.
What you
on the
gonna
block.
do? What you gonna do when it comes for you?
We getting out of there. That's what the fuck we doing. We getting the fuck out of there.
Look, I'm gonna have to hear on the after show what that real story was on the after show. My gosh. Oh, you got a lot going on, girl. I
Jesus.
ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Let me ask you all a question though.
Mm.
When it comes to your life careers and the choices of the things that you're doing now, I know that Veronica, you talked about you would have gone on to school and everything. What is it that you see if you were? Excuse me. This mosquito's up on me tonight. But if you were in the ordinary Joe situation, what would you have done?
If
What
I would
other
have
kind
went
of
to
road?
school,
Uh huh.
if I went to school, I would have went to school for management. Cause like
Okay.
I told Tanya a long time ago, I wanted to own my own hotel. Well, yeah, hotel, glamorous hotel,
Hmm.
not no little rinky dink hotel. I wanted the big lights, nice hotel, expensive. You
Right.
know, somewhere they can come relax. Like a luxury hotel.
Right. Gotcha.
That's what I would opened up.
Right.
That'd been
Okay.
one of my dreams. That's one of my dreams.
Okay. So that's something that if you would have been able to get your schooling and taken another road, you would have gotten the schooling in management in order to do something like own that type of entity. I got you. What about you, Margot, Shannon?
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, I was almost pretty much asked that yesterday by one of the subs that came and helped me out in my classroom. She's like, won't you do your own thing?" I'm like, my family always asks me, like, you know you got it and you know you can do it. So
Uh-huh.
just opening up my own child care facility
Right.
and running it myself. And so that was something I would believe I would definitely be doing the same thing, because it is a calling and it takes special people to do this particular job, because it's not easy.
Right.
Um a lot of people think it is just babysitting or this and the other, but when you're actually putting in time and effort, really trying to teach them
Oh Lord.
not just self-help skills and social emotional stuff, but what it is that that would appeal to them at that age. I mean, it's a lot of other benefits that come from it. And if you look at it, you're changing the mindset and spirits of young people so they can grow to be better citizens as they age and get older. With a
Yeah.
mindset of having, kindness and empathy and stuff like that towards others. So that's what you're
Right.
really doing. Um, but yeah, having my own little uh child care facility and being a part of that instead of working for others, working for myself.
Okay.
So
That's
someone's like,
cool.
I'm loving what you're doing in the classroom. Won't you do your
Mhm.
own thing?" And I was like, oh, I hear that a lot. I just haven't acted on it. And the
Right.
financial part is what I would have to do the most work and research into, making it happen. But I've got the years in the
Hmm.
company I've been with them for 15 years. So
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool. Shan, what about you?
Hmm.
I would have started freelancing and contracting a long time ago
Mhm.
instead of just trying to play that where do I fit in BS game. Like I would
Right.
have just went ahead and went for the money instead of trying to find my family in a
Uh-huh.
corporate setting. I would have just been like, nah, pay me 30 to 70 an hour and
yeah, it's
let's
like
move
I got my own road and path that I ain't got to fit in with nobody's stuff, but where I want me to fit in.
on.
Right.
Most definitely. And I would have been
Margo,
a lot
uh,
further along
Mhm.
financially.
I think that I would
Margo,
have. I mean,
I
go Veronica.
Yes.
um
Did she?
I do have some schooling under being a daycare worker. I went to school for work daycare work for childhood, early childhood. I do have a little schooling on that, and I did graduate in. I didn't graduate in the early childhood program, but I did graduate in the nursing assistance program. So I have a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit of both of them under my belt. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Well, I can understand. My roads have been, like I said before, it would have been medicine, being that doctor, and I answered that question. I went back and I worked with the emergency doctors over at Emory University School of Medicine, and I had a chance to answer that question. That doctor role would not have gone for me. I wouldn't have been able to become that kind of person and disconnect and see
Mhm.
babies and all kinds of people sick every day. I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I answered the question that I had for a lot of years in
Mhm.
there. Did I make the right decision? And what I did is I went back and finished my degree in organizational management, which is like business management. And I did that part because I was owning a business by then. And so um, I some other roads I think I might have if I would have known some things that I know now, like how long it would take me to find and get the kind of finances to put my company doing the really big projects that we're getting ready to do, I might have gone on to law school because I had the grades. I mean, I graduated cum laude from high school and college and in honor societies. I had the grades, everything, going on to law school. And I kind of said, maybe somewhere in there you should have gone on to law school and gotten that. But then again, maybe that would have changed the course of my life too much. So I think about a little bit back further when I was always in the industry for year to year to year. I had like really big contacts in the industry, all the record labels, all different, people, all the major labels, artists and managers and everything. I wonder if I would have utilized my contacts a little bit differently. Would I have done something differently? I was always afraid of being a bugaboo. Like I would see some of the people who they just latch on to some of the reps and people, and I never wanted to be that person. So therefore they would invite me more places because I was never the bugaboo that latched on. But sometimes I wonder if I would have spun that a little bit differently. Could I have ended up in a different place quicker? But I had to look at it this way. That wasn't my walk. Like I was telling um, Veronica's story just yesterday about an artist that I kind of thought was going to take me to do more work with him after directing his first video, which got him signed to a major label. I thought maybe that I would have taken that walk a little bit further with that, but that wasn't my walk. So sometimes things are just not your walk. And I have to look at it
Yeah.
that way. It may not have been what I wanted it to be, but it's everything that it needed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
everything that I've learned. Everything that I've
Mm.
learned, you know. So I'm
I
okay
did.
with my
I did. I did want to. At first, that was my first calling. Was early childhood. Um, I just love the kids. But when my niece
mm,
came in the world and she started getting on my nerves, I changed and changed
Like
that.
that
Was
hurry up and change.
early childhood was not for me. I'm like,
ah,
yes, sir.
that's
She
cute
was
though.
wearing me. She wearing me raggedy. Man.
But that's cute. I
And then
like
and then
that.
when as my parents was getting sick, I went and changed into nursing assistants and
Hmm.
working with them old folks. Oh God, y'all, just walking into the nursing facility and they already sick and feeling bad. But once you come in, they they liven up on and talk to you. And if for instance if you go in and you're having a bad day when you come to work and you walk in one of them patients' room, the first thing they're gonna say, "What's wrong? Tell me your problems." Then once you sit down and start telling you their problems, they're gonna pull their old wisdom, wise wisdom out, and it's gonna make your whole day a whole lot better. So I had picked up that that was something else that I did. I love to do was sit around the old people and listen to all the wisdom that I could soak in.
Right.
And I had a whole lot of grandmas and grandpas.
Well, you
Hmm.
know what? Well, I think that's cute. I think that's wonderful. We all have been able to reflect on a lot of things in our lives here tonight. Some things we would have done differently, but like we always do, before we leave the platform, we always like to give a little bit of advice to the world out there. And what I'd like to do is this. I see this article on the website called Little Things Matter, littlethingsmatter.com. And the article is Don't Wish You Could Rewind the Clock. And she has like my wish I had done, wished I hadn't done that list, and she talks about if I could rewind the clock of time. And what I want to do is we all have the walk that we're in now. That's why I said a little earlier that wasn't my walk. Some of the things that I thought would have been cool had it gone a different way, but it's just not your
Hmm.
walk. And you just got to be okay with the walk that you're in. But for people who are not quite okay and don't know what to do, here's a list for you. She says, I challenge you to adopt my philosophy and follow the plan. Will you join me? She says, stop worrying about things you cannot change. That is a given right
Yeah.
there.
No
Stop
more shoulda,
allowing.
woulda, couldas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Stop allowing things of the past to bring you down. How many times have we done that? Thought about something from our past that has just like why did you do that? Or why did
Mm,
you say that? And it kind of grabbed you. How many people have dealt with that? Kind of grabbed you by the throat a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
know, right? And stop wishing you could turn back the
mm,
clock and do something over. I used to beat myself up a lot, like
better.
whenever I, yeah, I would like, I had this thing because I was, when I had the tumor that I went through, I became obsessive compulsive and I had my OCD. And I would always beat myself up about the things that I had done. Like I'd go speak in front of a bunch of people. And because if you asked me to speak in front of the whole city of Atlanta, I would go do it right now. I would shake the whole time, but like before I got up there, I'd speak and do it well. And then afterwards, I would be like, oh my God, what did you say? But when I was younger and I was going through the OCD thing, I would kind of beat myself up. But I had to learn to stop doing that. Don't beat yourself up about whatever it was that you did or said. It's over. If you did something bad, you got to just try to correct it. Move on. Learn all you can from each experience. I know, Shannon, you're talking about earlier, each one of your relationships were a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree. Okay, use self-control. Do not allow it to bother you. This again, what we just said just now. Got to have that self-control that you won't beat yourself up.
You know, my mom.
Shut up, Veronica.
My mom
what
would
she
tell me,
what she doing?
she's like, mm-mm.
Veronica's messing with
I
me.
want Tanya to read that last one again, Tanya. Read it again.
Okay, use your self control. Do not allow it to bother you. I just said I'm a whip. I'm a work in progress. I'm a whip because of the stuff that I have, being an OCD, obsessive compulsive, I have to rework myself back into a place where I don't do that to myself. But I've been really good. I used to, if I spoke in front of people, afterwards, I used to rip myself apart. I don't do that no more. I said, whatever. Because the
Mm-hmm.
people out there, if anybody's judging me, that's the problem, not mine. And one person said this to me one
Mhm.
time. She said, it is not your business what anybody thinks about you. And I agree.
Hmm.
True.
I agree.
You know,
Amen. Amen.
I come with like a hormone imbalance, so a lot of the times, like, I really have to evaluate if it's worth me putting a certain amount of emotion into something.
Mhm.
Just like, random events, being angry at somebody,
Right.
owing too much on a bill, getting a surprise bill or something like that. So my
Mhm.
mom would always be like, because she also deals with like manic depression, and that has a lot to do with volatile emotions and stuff too.
Mhm.
She would often be like, because we have to deal with this type of volatile, hereditary emotional disorders, we really have to take time to evaluate the situations and be like,
Right.
is this, my mom would call it picking your battles. So is it
Mhm.
worth me
Yes.
putting this much? How much does this situation and this energy serve me that I put so much of myself into it in order to get this outcome? You know what I mean? So how much of this do I really need to put
Mhm.
my energy into in order to get the outcome that I feel like I deserve? Or is this something that I'm just taking too personally
Right.
because I may be a little bit, over emotion, and nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to be like, "Oh, I was over emotional about this,"
Right.
because it's an ego
It's
thing.
hard to get to that
Yeah,
because
it's
of the
an ego
ego.
thing.
And I'm laughing because for the last couple of days, those have been my words, choosing the battles. That
Hmm.
have been, I'll tell y'all why in
Yeah.
the after show. That has been the theme song. I could just dance to it. Choose your battles. Choose your battles. I mean, because that has been my theme song. Okay, we got two more things. Accept yourself for you, who are for I guess she said for who you are. She switched the words around. Accept yourself for who you are, blemishes and all, warts and all, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Accept yourself. And the last one is live your life with passion and purpose. I think those are some good
Yeah.
points there for our people out there, because
Mhm.
it is hard when rewinding and thinking about, oh, I could have done it this way, or I should have done something this way. I mean, that stuff can be really hard when you think about
Mhm.
life overall. I could have taken this path, and what if I would have taken that path? And maybe this show that we were talking about, Ordinary Joe, has caused me to become more reflective and think about stuff like that over the last couple of weeks. But I'm good.
But like
I'm good.
I'm thinking about what do I do now? What efforts and energy start putting forth now to go? I remember I did a vision board, and that was
Uh-huh.
the theme of it, the not the new year, the now year. Like it's
Oh,
time to
I like
start,
that.
yeah, start moving. Like what have I been dreaming about? What have I been desiring to do? Or what has God put in me to
Right.
do, and now's the time to do it. Because the way the world is going now, oh no. But it's,
It's gonna get good
say
in a
what you
minute.
need to say to who you need to say it to now,
Yeah.
whether it's
We
good or
we got
bad or in between. But if you speak it in love, then it's no matter how they receive it. But if you speak it in love, then you was coming from the right place when you
Mhm.
started at it. But
Yes, we're
definitely,
inside of a
Yeah.
transition
It's
right
funny.
now.
It's funny
And
you
so,
said that, Margo. It's funny you said that, Margo, because you remember a couple of weeks ago I told y'all that I'm gonna have something for y'all in the next couple of weeks, and
uh-huh.
hmm
something's gonna be all good. Well,
Hmm.
part of it is I'm getting me back together. I
yeah,
kind of I fell
And
off for about a couple of years. I really fell off, and um I separated from my boyfriend. He stayed somewhere else. We decided to separate so I can get myself back together. I can get up and
yeah,
start
she's got
moving and
herself together
rolling
pretty well.
and get myself
yeah.
together.
Uh-huh.
I'm moving around now. Once upon a time, I didn't do nothing but sit here on the side of this bed and watch TV. Now I get up and I walk around the house. I walk
Hmm.
outside. I drove my car
Yeah.
day for yesterday. I'm just out
Hmm.
moving. I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm out doing Veronica, and
Right.
there's
Yeah.
more to
Yeah.
come. So hold on,
Yay.
wait for it, 'cause it's coming.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Keep
There you
moving
go.
forward. Keep
There
doing
you
that.
go. So this
It's
this
coming,
is our
honey.
this is a transition time that we're in. We are actually, most people don't recognize we are in the storm right now. We've been waiting for the storm to come, but we're kind of in it. You're not able to see it yet, but you're going to see it in a minute. And it's a real transitional time. It's a great time. I have moments that happen to me in the course of a day where I get happy because I know some
Hmm.
great changes are coming. And so I get like
It's like
really
I
happy.
don't know why my insides are smiling right now,
Yes,
but
it just comes right over you because it's
because the
like this
outside is a mess, but
I
but
just
you
told
know what's
Steven,
coming.
I just told Steven the
yeah.
other morning, I was like, I'm all hyped
And
up on
I'm
Mountain Dew, and I
happy.
don't know
I'm
why.
happy.
You said you hyped up on Mountain Dew and what?
And I don't know why.
Yeah, it is really it's a great time right now. If I can just tell
What
y'all,
you got in that Mountain Dew?
That's why I'm like, I don't know why I'm hyped up.
well, this is gonna look a little crazy for a minute, but y'all gonna see the good part in a minute. And so, y'all, we're gonna wrap up this living room. Y'all have been really great, ladies' night in the living room. It's been really good. I love it. So we'll have to do it again. I'm not saying that the guys are excluded from the show. We love having the
But they
guys,
are.
but
No, they suck. No, they suck. No, just just playing,
Boo.
y'all.
Do this, man. Boo.
we
We
are
don't
gonna have
need you. How they say all the black women tell me we don't need. Cause we can do it all ourselves. And
But we're going to have another ladies' night. I have even talked to them about having the men's night. And Veronica had that idea too. And actually, I have some couples that want to do a couples night. So those are all coming soon. So y'all just stay tuned and hang on here on the AIL. All right. But for right now, we're going to come back and end the show with just so go ahead and hear a word from Tandyland. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. You know, every time that song airs, I feel like at the end I should be doing like this, doing a fist pump. Don't y'all feel that?
A jumping or something.
Yeah, some type of fist pump or something at the end there. I'm like, okay, because it takes you through it, boy. So, all right, welcome back. We're headed for the wrap right now. Now, we know, Shan, you about to get on the plane tomorrow. And so as we go start talking about our next week, now you said you're going for 2 weeks, right?
Yes, I'm going to be gone till the 24th. And then when I come back, I have meetings and stuff for the art show. I might be starting some freelance work. And then November 14th, I have that fashion show that I'll be my little ass, my little 5'3" nothing ass is going to be walking me.
I'm still tripping that Shannon is going to be in fashion.
You going to do it. You going to do it, Shannon. There you go. Show that model walk already. Show that.
I'm going to give him, what is that, Zoolander? That.
Yeah.
That's a
that serious model face.
Well, you hit us, you know how you like to hit us on the text. Let us know what's going on. Keep us abreast of things. We'll try not to piss anybody off, you know. Try to keep us abreast of things. But
I was safe last time. I'm sure I'll be safe this time.
Okay, you know, just the whole travels thing. Not necessarily when you get there, but the whole travel.
I'm double masked up.
Okay, cool.
All
right, Shannon, thanks. Vivacious. I know you in the transition yourself. You got some stuff coming up. You ready?
Yeah, I got some stuff coming up. I'm gonna be moving out my house for a couple of days. They're gonna remodel my house.
Right.
Do some work on it, and then when I come back, I'm gonna get a brand new house.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start working on. I'm also start working on writing my poems. I used to write poems,
Right.
so I'm looking forward to trying to write some more poems.
Cool. All right,
Good.
thank you, Rock. Thank you. More go. What do you got coming up
this coming week? Well, the next weekend is my birthday. That's what I got coming up. So I'm gonna be trying to celebrate some kind of way. But still the same. I still plan on this dance class of mine. I just gotta pick the lady's theme that she throws out there. And I don't know if it'll be one of those like sexy moment class or something where I need some knee pads or something. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Cause that's the class called with the floor work. So we gonna try to see. Just hopefully I have some knees when I'm finished. Hopefully I still have knees when I finish, because I don't know.
I know that's right.
Hopefully I ain't broke down by then. But
some knee slides out here. You gonna slide in.
Right. Doing something. But on top of that, just some more get back into writing. Whether it's just journaling and reflecting, or definitely poetry. For sure poetry. And Still doing a lot of DIYs. I have a project that I had been working on a while back to give to my best friend for her birthday. So I got to get back on top of it and finishing it before the end of this month. And
Cool.
just going through and downsizing some things in my house. I'm just like, man, I got a lot of clothes. I got,
Right.
some household items, some stuff I need to get rid of, and it's a lot. It's a lot when you look back over your life and see how long you've been in a space, and
Right.
things you've done and places you've gone, and the artifacts you pick up. You be like, some of this I should have left. You should have just
Right.
left it right
Mhm.
on the store shelf,
Mhm.
wherever I got it from. So just trying
Okay.
to downsize my life and my clothes
Okay.
is a
I ain't
project
mad
I
at
got
you.
coming up.
I ain't
I've
mad
done
at
it.
you at
It's
all.
in the making.
All right. Well, you know what, y'all? I have been in a personal transition. I'm very proud with the way that I'm coming out of the fog with my health, because it got really, really scary for a moment. I talk about it each week because I just didn't know how this story was going to turn out, you know. But I'm very happy that I'm getting back to the old me, and I'm walking down the street again and going places. I'm walking through stores and stuff again without feeling so winded. I couldn't go to the mailbox just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I couldn't go to the mailbox. And so
You
I,
you need to do one of those commercials for the people that even though
Your
yours would
TV?
be without the
yeah,
medication, it'd be like the natural side, jumping on the
right,
bus and floating and
You too
getting on
may
a
be
scooter
affected.
and
right.
do them
Yeah, because I'm on
commercials
all
for the people
naturals
with,
right now. Is
yeah,
yeah,
all
so
natural
that's great. All
for your
naturals.
asthma.
I'm taking Silsol
Mhm.
35 silver. I'm taking silver, and I'm really doing very well. Magnesium, L-threonate, threonate, and it's all
You hear
turning
me
out
to
very
death?
well. Yeah, we're in Veronica to death, and
Mhm.
I actually, like I talked about, I looked at my art piece that I was working on this week. I got to do a little bit of it a couple days this week, and it's a hyperrealism piece, and I'm very happy with it, and because I challenged myself, I pushed myself more, and I said I'm gonna reveal it when it's time, but it's
Yeah.
just
Have
not
you
time
have you
yet.
touched your have have you touched your chalk right there at your desk?
Yes, I actually went this week and I went ahead and started doing more with it, but it's still right here. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
moving it
So
because
she pushed it with her fingers.
Well, long as you touching it, so you can.
yeah. What you say, Shannon?
I said she pushed it with her fingers. She said,
Oh, as a matter, here it is, right here. So
Uh-huh.
if I move it, or any of my pencils, everything is right here. If I move it, it's out of sight, out of mind. I refuse to use it, and the loose chalk is still sitting right there. I ain't moving nothing. So that way I will get it done. And so also soul spotlights are coming up. Um, my manager called me this week and she was securing some things. I think it was just yesterday. Was it yesterday, Veronica? I can't keep track of my dates this week. So I think we were securing some stuff. So
I think it was
hopefully,
yesterday.
I
Yeah.
yeah. So I hopefully I don't have too much going on. The interviews on Wednesday and Thursday coming up next week. If not, you'll see the notifications going out. But I definitely have interviews the following week. Celebrity chef Kat, and also the celebrity stylist Dr. Boogie. I love Dr. Boogie. I'll tell y'all more about him on next week's show. So you get a chance to hear and see those interviews coming soon. And there's some other folks that I don't want to mention until everything is all secure. So that's coming soon. So you know how we do the social media. Here's my social media. Here we go. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. You know, what's so funny is one day on this show, we are actually going to go in with Twitch and do a whole lot more with the Twitch channel. So maybe next week or the week after. And then also, if we did part one last week of the 20 questions for lovers. I think I want to go with part two on the 29th of the month. So let's stay tuned for that. I have a chance to run a spot and get us ready for that. And we'll invite LaMarcus and Cookie. And we'll see if Cal is coming back or if he's going to be traveling again. Every time he was
Oh
walking,
yeah, because we was traveling in his car and in the club. No, just
all I could
yeah,
hear
Sure,
was
everybody was charging the right price,
yeah.
all I could hear was a song by Alita Adams. You can reach me by what was it? Caravan across the desert
Man,
like
yeah.
an airman. That's all I could hear. But see, was Cal doing. He was just walking. So I
Yeah,
just like
walking with him wherever he went.
yes. That's all I could hear was Alita Adams singing as he was going everywhere. So I just say, okay, we're gonna see if Cal will come back
You
and
know
hang
what I
with us
kept
again.
hearing?
But
I was like, these boots are made for walking.
I know, right? But we will invite them all to come back again and to be on the show for the 28th, part two of the 20 questions for lovers. And I've had a lot of response from other people out there who watched it, that show, and they liked it and they want us to do a part two and they might even come on with us. So
All
for
right,
people who
because I,
would
I
like
don't
to,
think we even went but through 5 questions or so.
yes,
And I'm like, we
yes,
got a whole lot more questions to be
we,
asking folks
We're
we
gonna
still
have
on the
part three,
get
20.
4,
their
5, 7,
honest
8,
opinion.
and
Yes, we got a lot more to go. So I tell you all this: if you would like to be a guest panelist, because we're gonna bring in more guest panelists these days, you want to be a guest panelist on the show, or you want to be a guest on the show here with us, talking about what you do, coming on here to our Imitates Live and being in the living room with us, or you want to be on the Soul Spotlight, be sure to hit us. Like I said, the social media ran just now, so back it up just a little bit, go back to that social media, or you could just send us an email at Tanya Dixon at tandyland.com or just info at Tandyland, TANDILAND. Or you could do Gmail. If you want to do Gmail, it's just Tandyland AIL, which is our Imitates Life at gmail.com. In the meantime, we would like for you to like this show tonight. We want you to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can know whenever we're doing the shows. Come back, join us, grab the comments, get in there and just, see what's going on and leave us your comments, whether it be on YouTube. And then we also have a channel on Twitch, which is Twitch TV, twitch.tv/the real Tandy girl, looking at it now. And then also we have Facebook and all too. So just tune in, you can get all that. But I have enjoyed the ladies' night here. And of course, next week we won't have Shan, but we'll have more of the guys, I'm sure, coming back. We're gonna talk some crap to them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
We
Shannon,
need
why
to
you do
drag
that?
them through the mud. Drag them through the
Yeah.
mud a
Why you
little
do
bit.
that, Shannon?
We're gonna do that. Shannon,
I
tune
saw
in
that,
and watch
Shannon.
us.
Why you do that?
Well, just tune in and watch us if you get a chance, or
Shannon was like,
send a
oh,
comment.
God.
I'll be like, I'll like leave you voice messages. I'll be like, play this on the show. This is my
You know what?
rebuttal.
Remember, I told you can leave that. You can do a video, and I'll play it. So if you decide to do a video,
Ah,
I gotta
that's
I'll
a
do
play
good
it.
rebuttals
one.
on spot. I gotta do
Yes.
rebuttals on spot. I'll leave you voice. I'll give you voice messages. I'll be like, no,
But don't
no,
forget.
no.
But you gotta, Shannon. You gotta remember do your clap. You clap your hands. You gotta when you say, "I was gonna go in on them."
But you know what?
Clap your
Also,
hand. We need that so we can put
if
that
you
in the show.
if
I
you
was
do it
gonna
in
go
real enough
in, and I'm
time,
not even here.
if you do it in real
Yeah,
enough
there you
time,
There
go.
you go.
do you know I could actually download it, upload it into this StreamYard, and play it? So just keep that in mind, y'all. All of y'all, keep it in mind whenever you
Be
have a
clapping.
video
They
or
just
something.
don't know.
They don't understand.
So just let me know.
No, I
I
need to
will
know who's
upload
on.
it.
I need to know who's on first. Oh,
Right?
your mic show up.
But
You
we'll,
know it's gonna be wild.
but we'll see. I'll know soon because we're gonna have some people that I got to talk to who want to come in as guests and everything too, guest panelists. And so we're gonna do all that. But we thank you all for watching. us here with the ladies on the ladies' night. We thank you all for tuning in. And as I always say in pardon, let's see if I can remember it. Good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is Living Room Ladies. And we'll
Hey.
see you all next time on Art Imitates Live.